the magic finger. Pressing down. Yeah.
The Wrestling Club with Darren and Brett. We've got a show that you'll never forget.
Club, the only space that's safe for all wrestling fans, whether you're casual, laughs, obsessed, or ashamed. My name's Darren Maybe. It's a pleasure to be back with you on Wrestling Club. We've been away for a couple weeks, no real reason, just I guess, it's that seasonal depression. It's a little early onset this year, but that's all right. We're back, ready to talk about wrestling. If you'd like to talk to us, you can call us on the hotline that's all plugged in and ready to go. The hotline number is 732-200-CLUB. That's 732-200-2582. Please call. Otherwise, it's sad that I mentioned it. Mm-hmm. Well, we better just hop right into it. I'm chomping at the bit. Let me introduce you to my tag team partner coming to us live from Hollywood via satellite. The Derek Billington to my John Cahill, Brett Davis. Brett.
Okay. Well, I don't know that one.
You don't know Derek Billington? You're not a big fan of early 2010s indie wrestling?
I guess are we using shoot names here?
They're a little name called. They're a little tag team that goes by the name the American Pitbulls. You don't remember that one episode of NXT in 2013?
Yeah.
Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards. I made you the Derek Billington of the team because you kind of have that Dynamite Kid energy.
Yeah, I mean you're kind
of. I'm more like Eddie Edwards. Just like long-term concussion.
Yeah, every year you just seem like you get a little seedier for some reason.
That's right. I get hit in the head with baseball bats sometimes.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. We're doing fine.
That beautiful laugh belongs to our guest this week, a stranger to us, but I feel like we have a lot in common, and that
so much in common. It's really kind of weird.
Yeah, especially you two. I might be the outlier here, but this guest he's written for FanFyte, which covers professional wrestling, but also for Bandcamp, Passion of the Weiss, tons of music blogs. You work with KEXP. You roll in two lanes that I think we also sometimes roll in, and sometimes maybe veer off of and crash. But please welcome Martin Douglas to Wrestling Club. You are newest member of the club.
Hello. I am very proud to be a new member of the club. As you mentioned, yeah, I'm in two parallel worlds in music and professional wrestling in my my longtime love and coverage of both. So it's fun to be able to mesh those together sometimes.
Yeah, and you're in the Pacific Northwest. You're in Seattle, is that correct?
Yes, I am in Seattle. I lived in Tacoma for a very long time and moved in with my lady, and we're cohabitating in the city of Seattle.
Well, wonderful. We do have some Seattle specific questions later in the episode, but
awesome.
If you caught the intro, we don't always play Hot Chip. This isn't KEXP circa 2005, but I figured it's rare that we have a guest that maybe knows the indie side of things, very specifically the Pacific Northwest indie side of things. So we're gonna spend some time playing in that playground too. But again, first, we've been away for a while.
I know. Brett, I've barely watched wrestling. I haven't watched Raw. I haven't watched SmackDown. I watch AEW, but I thought, one of my favorite pay-per-views is coming up, Survivor Series. So I'm like, I got to get back into it. I'm looking forward to all my favorites on the show. I mean, guys like Keith Lee, Karrion Kross, these are like some great wrestlers. Even somebody like Nia Jax, who I know has had some trouble in the past. I think her team with Shayna Baszler is great. So a lot to look forward to for me.
Well, I'm so sorry, Darren. I've got
What?
many bad newses for you.
Why? What
Specifically,
what happened?
all of your favorite unvaccinated wrestlers, and a bunch of
What?
other
Not Harry. Not Harry Smith.
Darren, I'm so sorry.
Oh, he's like the British Columbian bulldog.
Yeah, Martin, how have you been keeping up with the products out there? There's so much.
So for FanFyte, I cover the AEW beat, like it's my specific area of expertise. And so it has unfortunately inspired me to kind of go by the wayside as far as WWE and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Like I haven't watched. I try to keep up with the pay-per-views. I feel like in the last month and a half, I haven't watched any WWE. So I'm kind of like in the same boat as Darren in that I'm like, well, what's going on? I think the last time I watched it was, of course, when Big E won the WWE Championship. Like it was
Yeah.
a very touching moment, a very big moment for Black people in particular. Like I feel like we have that representation on top, and that's not just the same old template of Black superstars from past years. Going all the way back to fucking Zeus fighting Hulk Hogan. Like Biggie's different, and different is good, and we should be exploring the variety of all people and their personalities. And I think he's just an entertaining guy for sure. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
I mean,
I have been I have been keeping up with AEW like extensively. So there's that.
you did some great coverage of the Big E title win. I liked your very brief review of the Hardy family office as a vibe. And the
The
heroic
butcher is
executive.
definitely beard goals.
Oh, absolutely, Darren. I feel like Darren could you could just make some modifications and
The
cosplay really
butcher,
well.
the butcher is a timeline in my life I wish I lived on. That could have been me.
And yeah, I have been paying a little bit of attention to WWE, and they're actually kind of doing something cool right
I don't
now.
believe you.
They're
Wait,
so they
is it
have these
Drop?
two separate brands. They have the Raw brand, they have the SmackDown brand, and for the
Interesting.
Survivor Series, they're actually making sort of random teams of these wrestlers that kind of maybe don't fit together,
Wait.
and they're actually doing a battle for brand supremacy.
Oh, there's the term I was hoping you'd say.
Hmm.
That's great. I hope they all wear the T-shirt. I think that's always it's really helpful for me.
Yeah.
I can never tell who's who's fighting for what.
I
You
love a
know,
bright blue T-shirt to represent my favorite brand of WWE.
there is a reason why WWE made $256 million in revenue in the last 3 months. Budget cuts aside, they're doing pretty good.
Let's talk about these budget cuts.
Why? Why?
Why?
Martin,
Because
Martin, Martin, we all know who was released. We all know this has been the talk of the wrestling world. I don't think we need to list everybody. But Martin, you cover
Yeah.
the AEW beat. As a fan, as a journalist, who do you want to see from these releases in AEW? Is there any, or do you think AEW should just pass on all of them?
I think in particular, Keith Lee and Mia Yim should definitely head over to AEW or be offered a contract. Like I think they're tremendous talents and kind of well in Keith Lee's case, he was, really propped up in NXT and then kind of underutilized when he made it to the main roster. They totally whiffed on Mia Yim. So I believe those talents in particular could be rehabilitated greatly by joining AEW and showing what they can do on a national stage. I mean, everyone else I kind of have mild feelings about. I mean, except for Biff Busick, Oni Lorcan. Like
Mhm.
he's just I love seeing him clobber dudes. but I think he's doing WXW 16 karat. So I'm very much looking
Cool.
forward to that.
That's a good fit for him, and like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, the perfect fit actually. I hope he just goes back to tweeting about like sleeping on park benches and like fighting people.
No, I hope things work out. No, I hope things work out better for him than that.
Well, no, that was his thing for a while. He
I
just be like,
remember,
"Get
but I
ready
don't
to
know. I don't know how happy he was in his life. But I'm sure he'll probably be doing better now. Maybe. I mean, it sucks to get fired, but I mean, they work for the devil, so you're gonna get burned, aren't you?
Yeah,
Hmm.
a bunch of them did get released because they were unvaccinated, which I think
Allegedly,
legally,
that's what they're saying.
allegedly.
It seems to be like, that's part of the. I mean, look, I'm sure there are still some unvaccinated folks left in WWE. I'm not going to name any names.
I'll
But
name a name. I heard Sasha Banks is anti-vax.
oh shit,
Mhm.
that's right. Also, like somebody like AJ, like I mean, come on. If somebody's not going to be vaccinated, it's going to be that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
not. He hasn't been around for a while, has he?
Hey, is the world flat?
Well, some of us.
The ones that just are like Frankie Monet, aka Taya Valkyrie. It's like you just like did all the work, and BFAB, who's
Literally. Yeah.
yeah, she just came up to the main roster. She is like clearly the thing that makes Hit Row like different than any other group of people, random dudes placed together. Like,
Yeah, she added a lot to that group.
yeah, maybe she doesn't have a lot in the ring, but
I mean,
she does.
that's what she was there for, to learn, to be under the wing of a damn near 20-year veteran in Isaiah Swerve Scott. Like, he was leading that group along beautifully, I thought.
Yeah.
And for her
Oh,
to just, yeah, for her to just be, just unceremoniously released, like, yeah, I thought that was a big L on WWE's part.
Well, they'll keep failing up. It does tend to remind me of WCW in the late '90s and 2000. And
what?
I do have to say, we lost a star of that era. Someone we talk about Ralphus a lot on this show because Ralphus was actually Darren's uncle.
My Uncle John. It's true. It's not a gimmick.
Yeah, it's not a
It's kind of become a gimmick, but he was, my Uncle John. Yeah, R.I.P. But also R.I.P. to a character who, treads a very similar line to Uncle John. That was Judy Bagwell passed away. Was that today?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Either
just
today or
today.
this weekend. Okay, yeah. Very sad. Of course, I think if you've followed Buff Bagwell's weird post wrestling career, or not even post wrestling, he still wrestles. He's had some setbacks and has, his life's strange. So that's always sad to see. But I always imagine like WCW had a room where they kept your Uncle John and Judy Bagwell.
I hope they kept Judy away from Uncle John. Honestly, he wasn't the best guy. He wasn't very nice. I'll say this about Judy. I love a wrestling parent. Whether it's Ms. Senior, John Cena Senior,
Al
whether it's Mama
Wilson.
Benjamin or
Well,
Mhm.
Mama Benjamin wasn't really.
what?
Yeah, she wasn't really a shoot parent, but I see your point.
Remember that time when it was like the Steiner brothers were wrestling on, I don't even know, maybe it was like King of the Ring or Royal Rumble or something, and their family, no, maybe it was SummerSlam, and their family was there, and you met Mama Steiner and sister Steiner. I always thought they'd be great.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
you're a boy.
they kept calling Rick Rob, which I thought was great. Like, just calling him by his shoot name. Like, they're not,
No idea.
obviously they're not in the universe, and
No.
it's so cool. It's
I would
like
think
they're just rooting for their boy.
I would think that the Steiner family didn't. I feel like the Steiner brothers did not smarten up the Steiner family.
Yeah,
But
Braun still thinks it's a Braun Breaker. I wish I could call him Rex Steiner. It's such a great
you
name.
can.
But yeah, he still thinks it's real.
Sure does.
He's gonna try to grapple the NXT title away from Tommaso Ciampa. If that match happened, or
Rex
will it?
Steiner
I have
or
no
Braun, Rex Steiner or Braun Breaker or whatever we're calling him, he fucking rules.
Mhm.
I watched that was something I was able to catch like probably a month and a half, 2 months ago. I watched the first couple episodes of NXT 2.0 and I was like, oh man, whatever this guy's name is, you could name him fuck, I don't know, Dirk McGirt, and he would still be
You think?
just
Hey
amazing.
NXT, my name's Dirt.
Do you think? Do you think Mojo Rawley is sitting in a dark room somewhere, just brooding?
Yeah, the staring into a broken mirror, waiting for that push to start.
Is he still?
Man,
He's still employed? No, he had to be released.
I think he got released a while ago. I think it was like with the
Yeah, he had that thing
time.
for a while where he had the 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 broken fractures of his psyche painted on his face.
Oh God,
He
I
did
don't.
nothing with it.
Stop lying to me. That didn't happen. Look, I don't know. Ugh.
Well, we're also heading into Full Gear this weekend. I'm going to run down these matches. I'd love to know, especially as you're the Mr. AEW.
I like
So
that nickname.
yeah, Cody might get mad, but we'll see. We got this world title match: Hangman Page, Kenny Omega. How do you feel about it?
Man, so I feel as though the piece that really got me going in on FanFyte was my Hangman Adam Page series.
Mhm.
And so like I have a particular affinity for him because I think he's one of the most realized three-dimensional characters in pro wrestling. With that said, I don't know what they're gonna do. I'm rooting for Hangman. Everybody's rooting for Hangman. He's like the most over star in AEW, kind of by a lot too. Like I would say, like the only two that are close are CM Punk and Bryan Danielson, and even then, Hangman gets a bigger pop. Like so, I'm hoping it's his time, but I know that he will create some very resonant work if he somehow doesn't rise to the challenge yet again of defeating his old friend Kenny Omega.
Yeah, I feel like the issue, at least on television, I haven't really seen any of the YouTube stuff, which always does add a lot of depth to the feuds. But I think what they've presented on Dynamite and Rampage has been Hangman is now qualifying to wrestle the person he used to tag with, and they haven't really hit a personal, um, and then this could mean he wins the title. It could mean he doesn't win the title, but I'd love to see like I feel like we're only scratching the surface. I hope this isn't the end of Page Omega either way, because I
I,
think there's some fun to be had there.
well, I think it's they got to do like a big history package on it, right? Maybe that'll be on the countdown show because this is like I feel like this is the main event that AEW has been building to for the last 2 years. I mean, this is like a storyline they started 2 years ago, and now you're gonna finally have the match. There's been a lot of twists and turns. I, you know, you want Hangman to win, of course. I don't know. I don't know. There's something about Omega as this long term champion that's, he's just the guy in a lot of ways. I think the money matches with Danielson, the Forbidden Door matches. Moxley comes back. I mean, think how big a babyface Moxley's going to be when he comes back.
Hmm.
I
Oh
think
yeah.
and I guess they've done Omega and Moxley before, but I don't know. I think a lot. I don't know. I think the semi main, if you want to call it that, Danielson and Miro is really gonna, maybe tip Tony Khan's hand a little bit about what's going to go on in the main event, in the finish of the main event.
Also, we've got Ty Conti and Britt Baker I love Ty Conti. What a natural baby face, like just personality coming out. I don't think she's the person to take the title off Britt, but I like this as a real push for her.
Oh yeah. I think I personally think they're gonna run back that Britt Baker Thunder Rosa feud, and Thunder Rosa is gonna be the one who finally unseats Britt. When that will happen, I have no idea. Of course, they have some very talented competitors that are still kind of on the margins, and I wish that's the thing that I wish most for AEW is that they would utilize their women's division more. I know that that is a very popular argument, but like it's still true. It still holds. It's like there's it's baby steps. It continues to be baby steps when it should be like a flood of legitimate, like, to do to have as much intellectual and emotional depth as some of these men's matches that we're talking about. I think they have it with Dr. Baker and Thunder Rosa. Like, you can, like, it may not be real that they hate each other, but it's one of those things in wrestling where they're so they compete in such a salty way that fans think, like, do they hate each other? And that's the best kind of wrestling, in my opinion.
And Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker arguably have a top five moment in Dynamite history. Their match was, I don't know. I mean, what other matches on Dynamite have really topped that as pure spectacle? It felt like that was a turning point for the women's division. I agree that it's very incremental. It's so slow sometimes. I think they got to pull the trigger. I don't know if Tay Conti's the one I would pull the trigger with necessarily, but you know, I don't know, Brett. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, in the chat, we got Adam Susan saying that Britt should stay champ for a bit. I'm with it.
Agreed.
Uh, I think she is she is a big star right now, and I think can get bigger. So I think pulling the plug now would maybe shift her back into like a mid card position, maybe. We want these stars to stand on their own, and I feel like the women's division is lacking in that. Ruby Soho maybe with the being the exception.
I think
And
Ty
also
Conti rules, but I don't think it's her time just yet.
no, yeah. And also in the chat we're reading that AEW is too much talent. Yeah, because nowhere in the conversation are they even including the wrestling club's first stable in AEW. This is something that has happened, and this is good news for you, Martin, because you've just joined the club, so you're going to be reaping the benefits of being an official wrestling club member. But May Saruga has joined the Killer Queens along with Lulu Pencil and Emi Sakura, all guests of the show. Now it's a three-person act. Uh, great,
Hell
great.
yeah.
May
There you
Saruga is
go.
so great.
You
I
want to
think,
take down, you want to pull the trigger on the women's division. There you go.
yeah, it'll take some time, obviously, to establish her. But if you don't want to have the veteran Emi Sakura up there, Lulu, she's my favorite wrestler. I just wrote a thing on FanFyte about Lulu Pencil. Check it out. Her top three matches. But her thing is that she is weak in
Yeah,
both
not good.
reality and
Not an
virtual.
athlete. Not very tough. I mean, tough like take a beating, but not like not very. What's the word? Not very threatening.
Yeah, but I mean, well, May Saruga, I think she's got a lot of upside. So
Sure.
For sure.
yeah,
What
I
else is
forgot.
on this card, Brett?
Other matches, we got Danielson, Miro, Inner Circle, American Top Team, Lucha Bros,
All right, hold on. What are we doing?
FTR.
We're talking about him
Well,
or what?
I'll just throw these out there. Darby, MJF, Christian. These cards are long. Christian,
Yeah.
Jurassic Express against Super Click, and CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston.
Oh, that one's gonna be so fun. You
Punk
know,
versus Kingston, yeah.
I was watching old Eddie Kingston promos just today, and he's always been great. And that promo on Rampage on Friday, just like the blocking of it was so cool. Just like them in their respective corners talking shit, Punk being a total heel, which thank fucking God, right? Like I am so sick of kissing baby CM Punk. Like, oh, I'm gonna jump in the crowd. Like, I get it. People are excited he's back, but CM Punk is an unlikable person. He's not a good guy. I don't know. Maybe he's a good guy, but he's like definitely a prick, definitely a smartass. And there's just something about Eddie Kingston that, I don't know. Like CM Punk's a millionaire, Eddie Kingston is poor. Like there's just like a real. I love that dynamic. Darby and MJF, obviously, great dynamic as well. Danielson and Miro, I really think, who do you think, Brett? Who do you think's gonna take that one? You think it's gonna be Danielson?
I love Miro as the why have you forsaken me, God wrestler. I don't think we've ever seen that. Um,
No.
I think Danielson can take a loss, and Miro would greatly benefit from it because he's been on like a losing streak. I think that's the more interesting option. He's the crusher.
So you say Miro goes over and then Hangman goes over, and that's your.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Well, I don't know.
I go the other way
to
totally.
Go over. I kind of want to see Kenny hold on to the title, but I also see something interesting in Kenny versus Miro.
That's amazing. I mean, that's something totally different. And if they want to, I don't think Miro's ready to be a babyface yet. Omega's definitely. I don't want to ever see a babyface Kenny Omega again. I don't know. Danielson's interesting. I know. I also look at like, Tokyo Dome's coming up, and Zack Sabre Jr. just had this amazing main event the other night. Go out of your way to watch that. That's like a real. As a Zack Sabre Jr. fan, it's just a real great display
Shingo,
of his
right?
talents against Shingo, right? But like Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr., that to me should be they got 2 nights at the Tokyo Dome. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that means Danielson takes the loss and he can build towards Omega later. I don't know.
I oscillate about the American Top Team. I think they are genuinely unlikable.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But Dan Lambert is such a classic wrestling manager, heel manager that even though he's just like he's the best coach gimmick ever in wrestling. There have been so many coaches, like the coach, like, and they're all like really cheap,
or the coach,
or the coach. There you go. See, and like he just has the just prick gym teacher vibe, and I don't know. I think he's great on the mic. I love their segment the other night, even though like it's cringy and like.
Yeah,
I don't know. It
gets cringy when they're starting to talk about Paige Van Zant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But I mean, I don't know about that.
But it's like Jericho. I'm not so upset about that.
It's a throwback to not only the '80s with Lambert as a heel manager, but also the Attitude Era, where it's just
that's Jericho's
people
shtick.
bad. But that's kind of Paige Van Zant's shtick as well in this. I mean, I think she's like very much embracing the I'm hot, and I don't know. It's fine.
Taking selfies over like Sammy Guevara, I think that's pretty solid.
I'm hot and I'm slumming it in wrestling with these nerds and these theater kids.
Yeah, and I was doing a little research on Dan Lambert because I don't follow MMA too closely, but I was like, okay, how did this guy? He's not a fighter, so like, how did he get to this point? He's made his money through cruise ships. He's an investor in a cruise ship company, and this cruise ship company was like known for like swindling old people out of money, and it's something
What?
no one
Good.
ever talks about. And maybe maybe somebody's out there to do the investigative report on this, but
Yeah, Brett, you could be committing libel right now. You don't
I
know.
could be. I don't know. The allegedly,
There you go. There you
but
go.
there's like local NBC affiliates that are like, this cruise ship is defrauding its customers, and then it's like a picture of Dan Lambert in like a giant suit, and it's
I
like,
love
hey,
it.
nobody's mentioning this, that he's this allegedly scam god. So yeah,
Well,
It might be a sore subject that he has committed elder fraud,
yeah.
and nobody wants to bring it to light.
Max Caster feud with American Top Team.
There we go.
Love Lucha FTR. Super Click's fun. I like the slow burn tease.
I don't know. Lucha, did you see? I feel like Lucha Brothers are pretty banged up. I think FTR might take the title. It makes sense. They should be the champions.
Yeah.
They not that the Lucha Brothers don't. The Lucha Brothers are great. They're maybe my favorite tag team in AEW, but Phoenix looks really kind of just broken.
I mean, they've had so many grueling matches
Oh, God.
over the
Yeah.
past year. Like you think about like starting off the year, or a year ago when they were in the championship eliminator tournament, and just like having these really bang up matches, and then getting back together as a tag team, and that wild cage match
Oh my
with
God.
the Young Bucks, like legit life shortening cage match.
Yeah.
And now they haven't taken any time off, and they're still going. So it makes sense that they're like just torn to shreds. Maybe they should take a break. Maybe someone should say, maybe Tony Khan should be like, hey guys, like just a couple weeks off. Just like 3 weeks off. Spend the holidays with your family.
I was in a costume shop getting my Halloween costume together because we've been off for a few weeks, and at the Hollywood Toys and Costume on Hollywood Boulevard, there is a full like legit Pentagon Junior costume like tucked in the back far right corner. I
Wow.
want someone to
So you
know
went
it's
as
there.
so you went as Pentagon.
I didn't go as Pentagon, but
What was
I
your
thought
Halloween?
about
Brett,
it.
what was
That's
Brett? What was
dope.
your Halloween costume?
I was an off-brand Freddy Krueger.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
But that makes sense that a Pentagon costume is in like a Hollywood costume shop, because
Yeah.
Lucha Underground was big when it was going on. I feel like it's a very distinctly LA Hollywood sort of wrestling production.
Yeah, there is the Lucha Bros own a wrestling store somewhere. It's a little far off the beaten path for me because I don't have a car, and I don't think about it when I do have a car. But yeah, that's a pilgrimage I'm looking to take. And also I got to see Psycho Clown. Speaking of Lucha, at a recent show, that was exciting.
Oh
That's
yeah.
dope. What show was that?
That was a show, GCW featuring.
Yeah.
Wasn't that Suzuki and Psycho Clown?
No,
Was it-
Suzuki fought Nick Gage
Oh, yeah.
right in front of me. If you go to
Ah,
our Instagram, Wrestling Club WFMU, you will see footage of me in the middle of a fight between Nick Cage and Minoru Suzuki, screaming. Truly terrifying.
horrifying. Yeah.
Yeah, just and like they had buckets of beer, and Suzuki just picked them up, and he's like, and I'm like, oh, this is not a planned thing. This bucket is a slippery floor. There is a very good chance that Minoru Suzuki is about to throw a bucket of beer at my head, but
I
thankfully,
feel like Suzuki has really embraced the like silly theatrical aspects of North American wrestling. Like
Yeah.
you see him in Japan and he's like all business. He's this murderous, sociopathic, just demigod. And then he comes to the US and it's like you can tell like he loves having a good time beating people up.
Hmm.
And it
I
manifests itself in pretty interesting ways.
if Suzuki's super run on the independent scene out here is any indication, I'm so excited for Okada's run that begins, I think, also this weekend.
Yes.
Hopefully bleeds into AEW, but hopefully, we get them all over the place.
Yes. Okada is the god. Like for I remember the mid 2010s when he had that insane run on top, and I was just in awe of this guy. Like he is in my opinion, he is the complete champion in pro wrestling. Like you couldn't
100%.
get a better top star than Okada.
And he was so young. He's like 26.
Yeah,
Well, now he just turned 34. Happy birthday to Okada. But when he's like tearing it up like 7 years ago, I mean, he's a baby, and he was
yeah,
so
exactly.
complete, so poised. Oh, I love Okada. I hope we get, we could get Okada at Full Gear. He's gonna be here.
Mhm.
I don't know. Is he actually? I guess it'd be Friday, right? That he's at New Japan Strong on the 12th, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh God, I guess I gotta watch Full Gear, don't I? All right, I'll watch
Well,
it.
it'll help your wrestling podcast. In the chat, we're asking if we've seen Suzuki do lucha. I,
Oh yeah, I did. It's amazing.
yeah,
He does it. He
I,
does it.
I,
He's
I
doing.
think I maybe did. I feel like I maybe sent it to you and then forgot about it.
It was yeah, no, it's great. Suzuki can do anything. I will say I loved how he did embrace the sillier aspects of American independent wrestling, but I would love to see the killer Suzuki unleashed in, AEW or wherever. I mean, we saw it a little bit. I mean, his match with Danielson was obviously like off the charts amazing, but
His match with Daniel Garcia was
oh yeah.
really stiff as well. Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah, Suzuki Danielson was my match of the year.
Wow.
Maybe there are better ones, but no one had me on the edge of my seat like cheering alone in my bedroom. So
I did love I don't know, yeah, I did love that match. It was just I don't know. Just the two wrestlers I love doing things I love in wrestling, But I would love to have seen that in Japan just to see Killer Suzuki. Even though he was, you know what I mean? Like he was Killer Suzuki in that match, but he wasn't I don't know, he wasn't beating up ring boys and, terrifying audience members. I don't know, but it was great. I'm not want to take it away from you, Brett. If that's your match of the year, that's fine with me.
let's jump into our a big segment this week. We've done this. You're in high company. We were talking to Open Mike Eagle and Shalewa Sharp in our first edition of this. Who did we have in our second edition? Oh, I think it was the Wrestle Rap guys,
That's right.
Ben Forte and Emilio Sparks.
And Brett, what
And
do we call this segment?
we call it Slam Jams.
Welcome to Slam Jam.
Okay, sorry.
We love our bumpers.
The problem is with that bumper, it took me so long to make it because Michael Hayes is just like, "What's up, Canada?" And it's just like, I don't. I was like, do I want to take that out? I guess we could do a Canadian specific, someday Canadian specific Slam Jam, but
Oh,
not today.
did you see our friend Tom Green's WCW deep cuts with the Canadian Nitro from 1997?
I
No, we
saw
should.
that on Twitter just yesterday.
Yeah, it's just like,
Missed it.
hello everyone, and welcome to Monday Nitro. The battle of good and evil continue. It's like a weird, like 1988, like style, like green screen intro, and it's like
Yeah,
the
it's so weird
NWO
because
are terrorizing World Championship Wrestling.
yeah,
We
it's
want
so
to see the
weird
bad
because
guys go down.
like wrestling had just changed like a year ago to like a more reality based format. and everything felt real. And then to see that and realize it's from 1997 is so unreal. It's
Doesn't he
like,
get
you
somebody's
know,
name
parts of
wrong
it's
too?
still catching up.
Wow.
I don't remember. He might have.
Right, you should put a link to that in the chat so people can check it out.
We'll do a little WCW deep cuts.
We'll put that in the put the link in the chat, and while you do that, I'll play our first Slam Jam. All right, why don't we'll just do it we'll do it cold. We won't say what it is, and then we'll come back and talk about it. All right, here we go. Have we heard enough? Have we heard enough?
I have to ask if you.
I'll keep it on in the background a little quietly.
Do you have a guess as to, so Slam Jams, we forgot to say, is a segment where we talk about wrestlers that make music. Do you know who this is?
No, I don't recognize the voice. I was trying to figure it out.
So you're not a fan of TNA Impact circa 2007?
I think it's a blind spot for me. Like I watch like matches and fits and spurts.
Well, these are some of the best. Certainly some of the best. This is the X Division supergroup of Alex Shelley on vocals,
Oh,
Chris
crazy.
Sabin on bass, Petey Williams on guitar, and Kazuchika Okada on guitar.
And also I put the intro there. He was also the voiceover on the intro with the cool like gun sound effect.
Yeah. Well, he didn't do the gun sound effect. He was the guy speaking Japanese. He's not like Michael.
Well, Petey Williams is Canadian, so this kind of counts as a Canadian Slam Jam, doesn't it?
Hey, Canada, this is the High Crusade. And this album, they've been a band for a good 10 years. This album came out in 2020. But they were doing this back in the TNA days at, bars in Orlando. Alex Shelley has always had like pretty good taste in music.
He's cool about music. Yeah.
He's named after Pete Shelley. He used to come out to Black Label Motorcycle Club. I remember him like
Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, you dork. He said Black Label. They think Black Label Society. That's a different kind of music there, pal.
Yeah, a lot of wrestlers do come out to Black Label Society.
That's true. It's an honest mistake.
Yeah, he's like a big Detroit, garage guy.
You can hear it.
Oh yeah,
you can hear it.
Yeah. Those guitars definitely sound like the Gories, the Dirt Bombs, and yeah, I have become aware of Shelley's music taste in the past couple years, but especially last year when he and Daniel Makabe started their famous guitar battle. Like, have you guys seen any of that stuff?
Oh,
not.
So like they will do like an acoustic. They've done like I think several rounds of this acoustic guitar battle where they will just cover songs and kind of like a battle of the bands type thing. Only they're they're just filming stuff in their living room by themselves. And I do have to say that Shelley and Daniel Makabe are very evenly matched when it comes to the song selection as well as their guitar playing and singing. Like I think Shelley, so I must say that Daniel and I are kind of sort of buddies, acquaintances, more acquaintances, but kind of, we
You're
have
close. You're close.
yeah, yeah, we have a good personal relationship. So with that said, Alex Shelley is definitely a better singer.
Wow.
But
Wow.
Daniel is a very good guitarist and actually has played in quite a few bands. And I saw on social media that he had the first practice with his band that he's been playing with for a few years called Grief Walker. I think for the first time since the pandemic started.
Yeah, there's some cool wrestling. We're not going to play it, but the Lucha Gores, maybe not as good. They're not terrible though. But that's Lita's band, Amy Dumas. Um,
I want to say, Okada playing guitar, what can't this man do?
right.
And,
Mhm.
I'll tell you this, if the day comes where Okada wants to follow in Nakamura's footsteps and go to America, move to Orlando, I'm saying he could join the band. Nakamura, Boogs, Okada. Look, I hate Rick Boogs. I think it's the worst. It just doesn't fit. Throw Okada in there. I'm sold. I'm going to all the shows. I'm back on WWE. I'm going to Saudi Arabia. Nothing's going to stop me. Okada on guitar all day, every day.
He should just steal Tanahashi's gimmick wholesale
Oh my!
and
Well,
move to
that's the
Florida.
thing. Tanahashi comes out, does the air guitar, and then Okada's like, He pulls out the real one, and I don't care if he's just doing chords. That's fine. He don't need the solo. So cool. And also, just like Okada's whole look, if he just had like a matching guitar, it would be unbelievable.
So you are a Pacific Northwest guy.
I am,
Uh,
yes.
I just did a. If I sound a little out of it, it's because I just drove back from Las Vegas in a straight shot.
Yeah,
And
Brett
Oh
had a
man.
Brett went on a bit of a bender. Maybe
yeah,
that's why
Brett's
wrestling
bender.
club isn't around. All right.
Yeah, and it reminded me of driving to Olympia with you, Darren.
That's right. We
You
drove there from New Jersey.
you were sleeping in the car as I had the most terrifying drive of my existence.
I did fine. I had a nice
Oh, you
rest.
did fine, but I was like driving in the rain along mountains and stuff, and I just remember landing.
Yeah, dark Montana, darkest Montana.
Yeah, yeah, and then seeing the lights come up and being like, "Oh my God, this is what I was driving through." It's so beautiful. But I just remember like getting out and just being so happy to be like in a place at the destination. So I have some fondness for
Yeah, love
this
Olympia.
area.
Love Tacoma too, gotta say. Love Tacoma. Always had
Yes.
the thing about Tacoma is if I wanted to smoke weed, I always could. That's
Yeah.
something I appreciate about Tacoma. But
You did a little recap of the local scene. Who are your favorite acts right now?
Wow. Actually, before we go any further, I'm wearing an International Pop Underground T-shirt.
Ooh,
whoa.
Yeah, so we're talking way back in the day of
Yeah, that's
Olympia
some
indie rock. But
I will
yeah,
say the first day I was ever in Olympia, I was at what's that pizzeria called? You know the one I mean, right?
oh man, it
Oh,
slips my mind. Like
it's like
I just
Cosmic
passed
Pizza.
there over this.
It's not Cosmic Pizza, but it's something like that. And I just remember being in there, and there's Calvin Johnston just like kind of dancing to himself, and I'm like, I'm in Olympia, aren't I? Like, there's something here. I'm here. Hello.
Clam lurks in the chat is saying, "Shout out to Darren loving to smoke weed."
Hell yeah.
All right,
Uh,
so Pacific Northwest bands we're talking about, right?
mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm I'm enamored with this group from Tacoma called Enum Claw. Like their sound is very much like 90s indie. Like I feel as though indie rock has sort of shifted into a quasi mainstream presentation. And so like I personally pine for like really dirty sounding guitars, really rudimentary chord progressions, and just people who can shred. And Enum Claw does all of those things and has some very introspective songwriting to go with that sound. And I think they are, at least the rumor mill says that they are in the midst of a bidding war. So we'll see what label they get signed to. But I definitely predict some very big things in the future from them.
Cool.
Also, there's a band in Seattle called Black Ends. They specialize in what they call gunk pop, which I think is I think to simplify gunk pop, I feel as though it's sort of Spoon Yards meets Kurt Cobain. Like I think it's a beautiful blend of like really weird, naughty indie guitar mixed with like that in utero era Nirvana sound, which is awesome. They are awesome.
Wow.
So yeah, I could go on and on. So let's
Yeah.
I
get
got, I
at
got,
those
I got to
bands.
throw out right now. My favorite band from Olympia is a band called the Gobs. They just put out like 4 EPs this year, and they're so good. They're just a great punk band. So
Oh yeah, I love them.
they're so
I
good.
haven't been to one of their shows yet. I don't even know, like I don't think they've played many shows because of the
No,
pandemic,
yeah, that's
but
what I'm thinking. But yeah,
yeah, they're great.
so good. I mean, there's always good music up there. You know, between
Yes.
Well,
between
I'm gonna talk about my favorite. They're kind of like sort of like a anti-folk hip hop group. Darren, I actually could you play some of their music?
sure.
Let's see if you can maybe
When
pinpoint.
Michael died, people all over the world did the moonwalk and the thriller. When Patrick died, people all over the world tried to do that lift. When Farrah died, people all over the world feathered their hair and put on hot pants. When John Hughes died, people all over the world said Mueller. Well, today we lost another hero. Today we lost another friend. Today we lost the world's greatest manager. Today we lost the captain. Yeah, today we lost the captain. A million albums dropped and a million heads get locked and a million beers get banned and a million bodies slammed. A million pilots driven and a million lives are lived. Cause you never ever know when it'll be your time to go. No, you never ever know it'll be your time to go. He was often imitated, but
All right,
and
all right. Well, you don't want to listen to that chorus again?
So, do you have any guesses? You might know the vocalist.
It sounds so familiar, and I know I'm gonna kick myself when you tell me because I don't I I'm drawing a blank.
You know, and I thought you were like an early 2000s Kazaa guy, but I guess we're learning the truth on Wrestling Club this week.
Yeah, back in the day, I loved my anti-folk. I loved my
Yeah,
Oldie Peaches. I love Jeffrey Lewis.
sure did.
One member of this group is Kimya Dawson, the sort of anti-folk, the mother of it all,
Troubadour.
troubadour. But she is joined in this song by the multi-syllabic rapper Aesop Rock.
Oh yeah.
and submission specialist Brian Danielson.
The American Dragon.
Wow. How did I not know that Danielson played on this?
Well, I'm going to go back to the chorus because that's really where you hear him. Oh, wait, wrong song. Hold on.
Wow.
You really can hear him. Like he really stands out. He's got the. I can just see him like. I can see him in the studio just smiling when he's doing it. Like just,
Yeah.
I'm just having such a good time. The nicest wrestler. It's so funny how much he hurts people. You know, he does that.
Well,
nice
we want
man.
to talk about hurting people. Man Upstairs Isaiah, our producer, has a great clip. And in this clip, we've got you two have something in common, actually. Just note the shirt that Brian Danielson is wearing in this clip, where we see more of his love of anti-folk and other that area music.
Hello everybody, thank you for once again checking out my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about the guillotine, one of my favorite submission wrestling moves. And then we have Guillotine the music video with some very special vampire music. Now remember kids, whether you're around vampires or people who want to crush your trachea, protect your necks.
I am a vampire, 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 empire, I am a vampire, I have lost my fangs. I am a vampire, I am a vampire, I am a vampire, I have lost my fangs.
So yeah, that was Antsy Pants.
Some serious Pacific Northwest pride there. I had no clue that my respect for Danielson would exceed what it had been coming into the show, but
yeah, he's
wow.
wearing a shirt for Twee Pop Legend, legendary record label K Records, whose founder Darren caught dancing alone in a pizzeria.
Sure did. That's right.
Of Beat Happening fame. Yeah, I don't know. I like does he play this music around the house?
Has Bree ever hung out with Kimya?
Yeah, has that happened?
I feel like Bree and Kimya would get along. They're kindred spirits.
Yeah, I think Bree would be.
Kimya's
like,
a bit of a diva. Kimya's a bit of a diva.
Wow, you're so real. Wow, you're so real. Yeah, we were actually, when we were in our GERT. You know, Daniel played some of your music for Birdie, and she cried.
Daniel, Brian.
So that's a fun group.
Brett, I'm gonna say we should skip to the gross one.
Skip to the gross one.
Yeah, I want to go to the gross one. Let's just.
Yeah, we don't really have a clip of this, but Mountain. I mean, there's so many.
That's what I'm saying. We don't have a clip. Let's just skip it.
Yeah, but I was honorable mention that the Mountain Goats have multiple songs, including
so many. We could do a whole episode. Look, if anybody can get Johnny D, get his contact info for me.
Hey, Darren, don't you have his contact info?
I don't have access to it anymore. I was fired by WFMU. I don't work there anymore. I still do my show, but I'm not allowed in the system.
Oh, okay.
John Darnier, is that how you pronounce his name? I forget.
I thought it was Darniel.
Darniel? Brett, what do you say?
It's Darniel, I think.
Oh, jeez.
Darnier?
Hey, since I'm a member of the crew, like, if y'all get him on the show, I am requesting my presence.
Well,
you're in, pal.
Bring it back, yeah. These are the perks of wrestling clubs. You get to hang out with the Mountain Goats.
Hell yeah.
But, yeah, let's get to the gross one.
This is the gross one, yep.
Yeah. This is.
Can I intro it? Can I intro it?
I was just going to say it's a little less indie.
It is a little less indie. It's I was just gonna play it. Just play it. I'm not gonna play the thing I was gonna play.
All right, Man Upstairs says, if you could play this star-studded Smashing Pumpkins video. And if we could get a little narration after the fact of what we're looking at.
Sure.
Right off the silver screen into a moonbeam to the alien side. Check with Jesus, the stars beneath us. Oh, what a beautiful night. Roll out the cavalry into the waters we dive. Shimmers of the cosmos to you.
Indie rock Smashing Pumpkins with their latest hit single.
Thanks, Jake Fogelnest.
Look, if we needed, okay, I know it's a podcast audio. Can't see it. It's the way it works. We just played a Smashing Pumpkins song from, I'm gonna guess, 2014.
Yeah, that's a great.
By
guess.
the looks of the star of the video, the hunk of the video, sexy celebrity, wrestling celebrity, former ECW champion Raven, is in the video, and he has a love scene. He's just there for the love scene. He does a full-tongued kiss to a vixen.
Extended kissing to Scarlett, actually.
Is that Scarlett?
Bordeaux, yeah.
Yeah, that makes me feel less bad. she's all right.
I couldn't help but notice there were like 4 different angles of them making out on a car.
There's like a whole like dolly shot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how many takes did they do?
Bailey, I'm gonna need another take. But meanwhile, Raven's girlfriend in the video, who's played by cheerleader Melissa, sees this, is distraught. I mean, she has the perfect man, 2014 Raven. Who honestly looks more like Sandman than Raven, if that helps you mind.
Sandman looks better than Raven.
I did think it was Sandman at first.
Yeah.
She goes to drown her sorrows with Shelly Martinez, aka Ariel the vampire from ECW fame. It's a weird video. It's like, well, yeah, the label didn't pay for that one.
Honestly, not the worst late period Smashing Pumpkins song I've heard. So that says something, because they've got a lot of bad ones.
Oh yeah,
it's horrible.
Okay, we got one more Slam Jam. Do we have one more or 2 more?
I think we have 2 more. Do you want to do the fun one or the not fun one?
I knowing what 2 you're talking about, I truly don't know which is which. I'll let you play, and we'll decipher who this is.
All right. This is a kind of a long one. I'm gonna let this one play. Well, you stop me when you want me to. Okay, here we go.
It's true, this Martino.
He never gets much credit. He only takes the blame. Everywhere he goes, he just finds more of the same. When laymen meet policemen, you know that it's a fact. They smile at his face and call him pig behind his back. He's the man who walks the beat. When you see him on the street, tell him thanks, because he has a thankless job with little pay. You think that he's a big disgrace with his nightstick and his mace, but he's a servant of the people, and he proves it every day.
Hush, little baby, don't you cry. What? You know your daddy was born to die.
didn't hear
What?
this. Is there anything more crucial to this Blue Lives Matter anthem that you're playing?
I don't know. Let's see. Let's let the maestro take over. Wait, hold on. Can we just say? I don't know where. Well, it's all right. This part's kind of nice.
This part's fine.
It's nice. It's got a nice vibe. It's got a nice vibe.
It's like propaganda meets Fleet Foxes. It's pretty weird.
Fleet Foxes is such a nice way to describe what we're listening to.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Sometimes when the media puts down the man in blue, the public turns against him, even though it isn't true. And I've wondered how they've stood up under so much public hate since the Democrat convention in Chicago '68. While we sing for unsung heroes, let us not forget his wife. Every waking hour, she is fearing for his life. Through loneliness and worry, she does what she must do. He makes while he's protecting me and you.
Too late, my brother.
All right, I'm tapping out.
Wait, what? You don't like? Oh, you don't like the harmonies, huh?
So,
Leaping Lanny Poffos, The Policeman Is Your Friend. A single,
wow.
a private press single from 1979. Wow,
that's even worse because it just means it's this like young man.
And is there any?
You talk of bribes, corruption, and police brutality. It paints an ugly picture and reflects on you and me.
Can you imagine a wrestler who would be more happy to put on a police uniform than Lanny Poffo? So self-satisfied.
I mean, he's definitely the guy that like goes up to like the cops and just like starts like making conversation like, "What are you guys? How's the beat?" God, it would be such a gas to put that hat on. Would I be allowed to put your hat on? We talk about Lanny Poffo about 30% of the time on this podcast.
That's about it. Yeah, it's either Lanny Poffo or Glamour Girls, but unfortunately, the Glamour Girls didn't release any singles, so we're gonna stop with Lanny this week.
And at first, Lanny Poffo was our favorite wrestler, and then we played a clip from him every week, and now I think we hate Lanny Poffo.
Well, he's. There was I think that's the B side of that single. The A side is like, I was hoping for more. It's a song called Jamie, and it's like a regular song, and then he'll just come in and like the bridge to like talk over it. And I don't know. I was expecting something creepier, but
you were 13 years old.
Well, yeah. See that I didn't get that. He didn't get that specific about it. He didn't talk about his self-sucking in the rhymed verse as he did there. But yeah, the policeman is your friend.
As we've heard, there's nothing illegal about autofellatio. We need a palate cleanser.
Yeah, I
Aaron,
think we
do we have anything maybe from a local music legend for our guest?
No, that's all I have.
Sorry, did you have any opinions on Lanny Poffo's song?
Yeah, what are your opinions on it?
I'm still trying to process it. I'm like, wow. I feel
ahead of his time. He's ahead of his time, isn't he?
Oh yes, ahead of his time in a lot of different aspects for sure. He would definitely slot in with wrestling's QAnon contingent.
That's the thing about Lanny. Not only was he ahead of his time, he was also behind the times.
Yeah,
it's great.
Wait, with all these releases and stuff, when are we getting like WrestleMax? Like the Newsmax of pro wrestling. I
Oh yeah, I just also want to say, like, isn't it amazing that Lanny Poffo was on AEW like 2 years
Yeah.
ago? It's really great.
Wow.
I know. They bring him. Maybe don't bring him back. He can't. He's left the country. He's he's like renounced his citizenship
That's true. He sent us the second video we got from him was a pixelated mess from the beach.
in Venezuela.
All right.
Where he
I don't have any.
lay flat.
All right, Brett. Where are we going here?
All right, we're gonna palate cleanser. Let's get a Seattle legend in here. Let's take a look at our final clip of the episode. Man upstairs, Isaiah, if you could play Sapp Time.
Now you're turning into the beast. That's right, channel 81 on your FM dial. And I want you just to take your hand and turn the volume real loud. I don't want to have to beat you up. 1, 2, 3. The beginning. Don't know defeat because I'm the best one yet. No opponents to fight is my only threat. Seattle is my hometown, but Japan Superstar is also found. Bling bling. Bob Sapp.
It's Bob Sapp
That's a wrap, baby.
I think that might be the best best one we've ever played. I love that.
Oh my God, do I love it?
Almost as entertaining as his New Japan run.
Yeah. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Bob Sapp, he was a football. He played for the Washington Huskies, then had one game in 3 years of the NFL. Then he went to the WCW power plant, but it got closed by Vince. And then he had this incredible run in Japan, where there how
well, you know, so WCW closes, and he, you know, like he was an out of work wrestler, so he's like, I'll go to Japan and wrestle, and he wasn't a very good wrestler, so he started doing MMA, and he, as an MMA draw, was like he was a superstar in Japan, unlike anyone in America, like bigger than Hulk Hogan, bigger than The Rock, at least The Rock when he was a wrestler. He was on every show. He was like just this in-demand celebrity. His fight with Aki Bono did 54 million viewers in 2003. This man was unreal. I don't know when Sapp Time is from. I think it's from, is it from 2004, 2003, something like that,
yeah,
I think.
2003.
It's just amazing to me. He wasn't a very good wrestler. He was a terrible MMA fighter, but he has like the most charisma of anyone ever. I mean, when you talk about the second coming of Hulk Hogan, Bob Sapp is it. How Vince McMahon didn't just give him $50 million to move into the McMahon mansion in Stamford, I don't know.
I mean,
I
he
don't know.
tried, right?
Here's this. I looked this up. Taboo Tuesday 2006. Johnny Ace and Vince McMahon met with Bob Sapp, and they offered him $1 million a year. Are you fucking kidding me? For Bob Sapp, $1 million? I mean, Bob Sapp was making, you know, $25,000 an appearance in Japan. You know, this guy was making so much money that he turned them down because the money wasn't good. And, you know, they thought they were going to get him. Like, there were plans in place for him to win the Elimination Chamber at December to Dismember, which, think about that, what, like, you know, how Bob Sapp fits into, like, 2007 WWE. Like, is it Bob Sapp and Donald Trump against Vince McMahon and Umaga? I think so.
Well,
I think
is that ECW? Just the December to Dismember Elimination Chamber was an ECW show, right?
It was, yeah. But that's Bobby Lashley won that match.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the talk at the time, was like, we want Bob Sapp. we need this big guy. We lost Lesnar. Vince in business was bad then. Remember that was like the DX reunion era. Like wrestling was really bad.
Bob
And
Sapp was a IWGP heavyweight champion too, and like the
sure,
middle of Enochiism.
right, 2004. No, he was the biggest star in Japan by leaps and bounds. He won Observer Best Box Office Draw, I think, like 2 or 3 years in a row, maybe just 1 year. But he was definitely in the conversation. 2002 to maybe 2007. Uh, it's just amazing that Vince didn't get him. To me, like,
He's
is
a
there
future
another
hero.
human being in wrestling more tailored to what Vince McMahon wants out of wrestling? He's a giant. He's totally down for fucking whatever.
He
Like,
loves to have fun.
yeah, just like he's a real fighter. I don't know. It just seems to me like kind of like one of the great lost what ifs in wrestling.
They lowballed him.
Can you believe it? $1 million. I mean, I guess that. Can you believe that Vince McMahon doesn't value his talent?
I mean, let's talk about this song and this video. This video, it's Soul Train reminiscent. He's got 4 backup dancers, 5 backup singers who are like, I want to know more about them. There's a lot of dancing. There's colorful suits. Some
His
that show off
flow
his-
is straight up from 1986.
Mhm. The editing is like reminiscent of the Cosby Show intro. There's like lots of shots of him hopping into frame and like rolling his eyes. Yeah, and that his voice is just very jarring, obviously. I saw a behind the scenes video of this, and he just seemed like the most professional, like happy guy. Supposedly this I didn't they didn't mention this in the video, but this was bankrolled by the mob in Japan. The
Oh, that makes
Yakuza.
sense. Oh, cool.
Because they wanted
Well,
to cash
sorry.
in on Sap Mania, but whatever. Everybody seemed to be a pro. He had a choreographer, he had great directors, there were a bunch of cameos from presumably famous like comedians and stuff. Yeah, it just seems like a real fun time.
Very much so, yeah. I mean, I would kill to be featured in a music video like that. Custom made suit, dancers, my name and lights. Oh my gosh, it's yeah.
Yeah,
That's something
That I feel like
think-
more so than writing. I feel like I would want that to be my calling card.
Oh, absolutely.
Like if I
You
were
could
known
do
for that
it.
video, like you could throw all of my writing out of the window.
That might be the best wrestler music video. I think it is. Is there anything better?
I don't know. Well, we'll continue to look for something, but right, yeah, I think it's a little like let's throw the circus at this guy, but
That's great. That's what it should be.
yeah.
There's nothing wrong. Wrestling is all about throwing the circus at guys, especially like weird guys with a lot of charisma. Like that's the thing. I feel like if somebody's got a lot of charisma, it's like, oh, he don't need much. He could be The Rock, just come out with the sunglasses on. But no, I want the guy with the most charisma to have the most shit going on. I want wrestling to be over the top every time. Like I don't want I love Eddie Kingston, CM Punk, right? But I want some stupid shit going on too. And Bob Sapp Time, that's some good stupid shit.
Yeah.
Great.
Well,
wrestling is not the same without the goofy shit.
Right. I feel like that's
agree.
where
like I feel like I'm a very serious wrestling fan, but yeah, like you've got to be able to laugh at the over the top silliness that happens in wrestling. Right. Like that's the foundation of the form.
And I think like indie wrestling, of course, has like, there's so much great comedy in independent wrestling today. But I feel like you need that, but you also need the spectacle. And like that should be WWE's lane, right? But it's not. Like they just, they get a guy with a cool entrance like Karrion Kross and they put him in a fucking Farouk costume or something. I don't know what the fuck they do to that guy. But you know what I mean? Like AEW is never gonna be WWE in that way. I don't think with the big spectacle. I mean, they tried to do it with Kenny and his weird dancers, and I liked it kind of. It was weird, but Bob Sapp time. This is something you should maybe get Braun Breaker, put him in a little suit, have him out there, get Uncle Scott out there to sing with him. I mean, I'm telling you, this is the kind of stuff that I love wrestling. So these are the things I love about wrestling.
Well, on that note, Martin, what do you got? What do you got coming down the pike? What are you excited about?
I am very excited about Full Gear. I'm going to be covering it, a specific match, specific feud. I don't want to give it away just yet, but you can expect that from me. You can expect some wrestling related music coverage on KEXP at the start of the year. I'm also gonna keep that one close to the
Is it
vest,
an
but
in-studio
I will
session with
be
Sapp Time?
I'm gonna work on that.
Yeah.
We're gonna see what we can do. Try to find Bob Sapp
Get him for Bumber
and
Shoot.
ask, yes, the oral history of Sapp Time. Yes, that is my new top goal as a journalist, my new white whale.
Well, I mean, please check out your writing, everyone.
Yeah, where can we follow you?
So I am at Douglas Martini on Twitter. I'm at the Douglas Martini, 2 E's, on Instagram. I write for KEXP.org. You can also find me at fanbyte.com/wrestling. I'm all over the internet. Can't help it.
Yeah.
As soon as they pull me, as soon as I try to get out, they pull me back in. It's like that.
Wow.
Can't escape the internet.
Like
I
the
know that.
Tigra said, get off the internet. Darren, how's WFMU going?
Well, we had a wonderful month. The October Hellraiser was a giant success. I made my goal. Thanks to everybody who supported the show. I'll be back. If you want to check out the archive, I did a special Mischief Night show with DIY Legends Human Host. I did, what else did I do? I did a 45 show. Check out the archive. There's a bunch of good shows in there from October. But this week, I'll be back on the air at midnight, Saturday night. Mr. Saturday Night, as they like to call me, I guess. Playing a bunch of new music, so check that out, WFMU.org. Or 91.1 FM on the dial if you're in New York or New Jersey.
Yeah, and check out the Lulu Pencil Essential Guide on FanFyte. And
Yes.
if you happen to live in the Los Angeles area, I'm bringing a wrestling concept to the world of comedy. The Lethal Lottery returns.
Wow.
Comedians get paired with each other. We are announcing this week who's who. I would have done it today, but I was sleeping from driving all night. Yeah, it's going to be a really great show. It's at the New Elysian Theater in Frogtown. Hell comes to Frogtown, you might say.
Brett, are there any wrestlers? You gonna have any wrestlers on Lethal Lottery?
I can't talk about it. You need to stay tuned.
That's a yes. That's a yes.
It's a fun show. Wild combinations of
CM Punk will be there live.
CM Punk will be there.
AJ Lee and CM Punk together
doing musical comedy,
kissing.
All right, Darren, why don't you take us home?
All right, that'll do it for Wrestling Club. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks to Martin Douglas. Shout outs to the man upstairs, Isaiah, Steve D for the theme song, and the fine folks at WFMU Radio. If you dig Wrestling Club, please like, share, subscribe, give us a 5-star rating on the Melcher scale. Invite your friends, check out the archive, and spread the word. Wrestling Club will return next week live on YouTube, so please check it out. But until then, for Brett, I'm Darren. This has been Wrestling Club. Thanks again. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
The Wrestling Club with Darren and Brett. We've got a show that you'll never forget.